Hello everybody, in this video I'm going to be doing a stash portfolio overview. As you can see here, I'm up over $700 with about $1,500 invested, and I'm up about 36%. This is a little bit deceiving. If you were to add up all of my gains from the different stocks, it would not add up to $700. So I'm not actually up 36% in the portfolio because I did make a few $100s when I sold Tesla share. So I'm not actually up a full 36%, but my portfolio is still up a pretty great amount. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Here are my top three performers. There's Microsoft with $150 invested, and I'm at $224 now, and this is actually one of my favorite investments on here, and I definitely would not mind adding to this position, and they have a pretty great dividend as well. I've also invested in the microchip companies NVIDIA and AMD, or Advanced Micro Devices, which you'll see here in just a second. NVIDIA, I'm up 94%, as you can see here, and Amazon has been doing really well in the last couple of months. They're up 32%, and all of those gains are really from the last couple of months, even though I bought these stocks over a year ago now. Here's a few more of my big gainers, which I wish I had added more to. There's Activision Blizzard up 62%, Google up just 15%, and then Apple, I only invested $50 in, but I'm up 57% on that one. Here's AMD, which I mentioned a minute ago. I only invested $25 into this one, and it's now at over $50, so I'm up 102% on that one. And I actually own a few shares of this one on Robinhood as well, but obviously I wish I had invested much more heavily in this one a year ago. Then here's Take-Two Interactive. I only invested about $50 into this one, and I'm up about 35%. But this is one of my favorite video game companies out there. They make games like Red Dead Redemption and GTA, which have infrequent releases, but the games tend to sell extremely well. Then there's Alibaba, only up 11% in this one, but they have a stock split coming up this summer, which I'm expecting to really boost the stock price, and it's an 8-to-1 stock split, so even though if I were to have one share right now, it would go up to 8 shares after the stock split. But it's basically the biggest e-commerce company in China right now, so investing in Alibaba is really just investing in the Chinese economy overall moving forward. Then there's Salesforce. This is one of my first investments on Stash. I don't really have a strong reasoning behind why I invested into Salesforce. They're one of the biggest data players for big corporations out there, and I think they're going to continue to grow. And then there's Visa and Microsoft. I just invested $25 in each of these on Stash, but I have a few shares of Microsoft and one share of Visa on my Robinhood account, and they basically have a duopoly, especially in the US right now, and I think there's basically a guaranteed growth opportunity there as consumer spending continues to increase year over year. Then there's Match the Market. I'm basically broken even right now, even though the investment's from about a year ago, but it's gone up a ton since I originally invested, but since the overall market's still down right now, I'm still only up about 1%. And then there's Young Money, which is an ETF that invests in companies that are closely related to selling to millennials, such as Microsoft and LMB brands and a few others. And then below that is several companies that I only have a few cents in from the Stash debit card, so I'm not really going to get into those. And then there's Southwest at the top there, another one that I got stock back in from the Stash debit card, which I no longer use. And then there's Slow and Steady, which is kind of funny because it also somewhat closely resembles the S&P 500, but it's actually down a lot lower than Match the Market, which is kind of funny. And then lastly is Berkshire Hathaway, which is down about 17%, and they're having one of their worst years that they've had in a long time, and a lot of questionable decisions being made by top management there. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some other ideas for stocks to look into, and subscribe for more content. Thanks.